Shots.
Hey, young girl, go to the door. That's how you know if they don't got no aim. They let off that many shots.
Yeah, that's poor shooting. That's poor shooting.
Poor shooting.
Yeah.
Didn't even know what he was doing.
Yeah, no, that's for damn sure. They didn't know.
Cause look at all them shells, and it only hit the person one time.
They only hit the person once?
Once.
Wow.
And his foot, and that's it.
Damn.
over there.
Okay, yeah, if you want. It's up to you. This way, then I take to the parking lot and come around here.
45 Calma.
Edward 200, those are 45 Calma. Another pistol outstanding. Okay. All right.
Just throw his personal stuff. Start working on his back. On the stands.
And also, can you guys reiterate 300? Edward 200 to the units out there. Let's confirm the caliber of the casing you have. This weapon we have here is 9mm. Okay, so there is a weapon outstanding. We have the 9mm weapon presently. So some of those other subjects are going to be something making or attempting to make a 99 for a cold show. Because if we're not going to have a cold show, then we need to take this guy out.
You think you got any properties? No. Not in northern.
Yeah, can I get a 408, 25 days, apartment number 401, that's out of Congress Street, EF, about 55 years old, hospital please, from Floyd. Never questioned, never dad, got that kind of apartment, 26, 5 days. 65 Eddie, apartment 401.
เหี้ยอะไรวะ
เดี๋ยวอ่ะขอเคลียร์หน่อยเถอะ
เหี้ยอะไรต่อก็รู้แล้วอยากบอกต่อ
need to go ahead and put for the
ไม่อยากขึ้นคนแล้วคือไม่อยากขึ้นตัวคือจะให้เลยให้คนง่ายรู้แล้วมันง่ายคือว่าเขาดูอะไรพวกนั้นเขาบอกว่าถ้าถึงที่ต่อคุณแม่เขาเนี่ยจะต่อที่แล้วอยู่แล้วใช่แล้วพี่จะไปทำไมเอ้าก็มาต่อเนี่ยโกรธกูอีกอ่ะไม่โกรธแล้วยิงก่อนไปแล้ว1 ทีใช่ครับ
Hands wrapped up for gun residue. They also have the weapon. Officer has it in his hand there. It's awful dark though. You may not be able to see it. I'm going to get the best shots that I can. Do let it be known that the officers at the scene, 2 lady officers, dropped the rope to rope off the scene and jumped in their cars all of a sudden and took off. So they never really secured the scene with the evidence and all of that sort of stuff. You can get through there if you like. You can go through there. Oh, you're sitting away. The shooter. All sorts of officers' handprints on the weapon because they didn't cover it up or put it in a bag.
What happened?
Okay, cool.
Bad guys and bad girls.
Fingerprints all over the firing weapon. 3 or 4 different officers touched the weapon. So there's several fingerprints on it. We know who those are, though.
Okay, good night.
Set up to you guys.
See you tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Scrambled for about 20 minutes before they even covered the scene. Shots fired. One or 2 vehicles shot up. They've captured one guy. There were more. This is the Fillmore Center. Between Eddie and on Eddie, Steiner, in between the blocks, several casings covered. Gentleman was apprehended on Gary, on Fillmore, with the weapon. Lighting's pretty. Everybody seems to be here, all the players. Miss Jones!
Yeah, 45.
It's definitely a gun battle.
If she would have got hit, it wouldn't have been no interview.
Right, we would have lost another.
Do an honest day, work, coming home, relaxing. And this stupid fucking shit. Bullshit.
I just walked in, sister.
Kind of dark. But we're in between Fillmore and Steiner, facing the Fillmore Center. Shots were fired across from Eddie, in between Fillmore and Steiner, to Marcus Garvey. One shot went in one of our shareholders' home. Luckily, she was laying down and not sitting up. I would have hit her.
Here, and my body kind of comes like this.
Yeah, I'll call it back. Now go over that one more time for me.
Oh, I had just came from the restroom, took some medicine, laid down, my TV was on, and then next thing I know, the gunshot started, and then all of a sudden I felt some pieces of grit on the left side of my face and my body, my shoulder and my neck. Made me cringe down, you know, like fold up and cringe down further into the bed where my face was closer to the mattress. Because I say, wow, if the stuff was hitting me in my face, then the bullet must have been just going across my bed. So I went like face down towards the mattress, and as soon as they stopped, I got up and then I went to go call my son that's in the next bedroom, because I didn't know if they had went to his bedroom, and he didn't answer me.
He was outside pretty fast. I seen him.
Yeah, I had to call him a couple of times because he said he was looking out the window and he seen somebody over by there, across by the Fillmore Center.
Running.
But I told him when he came out, I told him, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to call the office, the police, because I wanted somebody to see that bullet hole and stuff, you know. I said the police out there turned up in there.
Wow. Damn, you lucky.
I'm telling you, man. And they said 3 other bullets went in that wall right around the area.
There were quite a few of them.
But they didn't go through.
Wow.
And they was telling me if I won't sleep there to put some 3/4 inches plywood along to make a headboard. That they said that to shield the bullets. But I think I'm gonna have to turn my bed in here over the wash house and stuff. I didn't realize my wall was that thin.
I wouldn't have thought it was
thinking,
either.
You know, because I'm thinking the wash house is down there, but the thick.
So we recovered that? Oh, our guys recovered it good. Sweet.
Hey, all right. Right now, if you can, back up a little bit. Right there, that's good. Over that way a little bit. Perfect, right there. Right there, that's don't block it though.
Some more gang injection interviews. We've done some in LA. Now we'll start up here, Western Edition.
Screw up a little bit, he behind you, and I want him too.
We'll start with Jamal Gaines right here, as you can see. He's over there working, and he's trying to do some things in his life. So we'll go into an interview in a little while about exactly what he's been doing, how he got on the gang injection, and what he's been doing since then.
Alright, baby.
But when you work weekends here? Oh, okay.
I work at night time.
Oh, okay. But I only tell like if they have affairs, like when they have those conventions and stuff there.
Here, this Brothers for Change or this Village Project?
Brothers for Change.
Okay.
Where we at now is originally what they had called Turfwood Projects before they tore them down. Now it's called Robert Pitts Housing. Known as the Gang Injunction, part of the Gang Injunction Zone, this is called Chopper City. This is just one, this is the start, if you're coming from the Visadero way, the Gang Injunction Zone, like we said, is from the Visadero and Eddy down to Laguna and Eddy. So is another complex up the hill. There's 2 of these. I don't know if it's Robert Pitts South or North or whatever it is, but this is what you call Chopper City. And this is another gang injunction zone. I think maybe about 20 members of Chopper City might be on the gang injunction zone.
The numbers that high?
Yeah. You know, and what we're looking at now is we have, I said earlier, Jamal Gaines, which is on the gang injunction. He's been working here in this food bank for about 5 months now. On his own, came in and started, you know, helping out the seniors and things like that. So I'm gonna get him and let him talk a little bit about his life and story and how he's on this gang injunction, but how he's changing now.
Okay.
I'll call you next.
Okay.
All right, so as I said before, we're going to talk to Mr. Gaines, Jamal, that is on the gang injunction, but is changing his life into the path of doing something else. Like I said, he's been working at this food bank for about 5 months. And I know he got some other things that he's been doing, but we're just going to go back a little bit and just kind of explain just a little bit on the gang injunction, why you own it, and what you're doing now.
Yeah, the whole reason I'm on the gang injunction, so got into a little trouble, sold a little, a little dope, and, got busted for it. And the whole reason I feel like I did that on my own. It wasn't a part of no gang activity. I feel like it was just socially because of where I'm from. When I looked at my police reports, it said like I'm from this area. So they just identified me with being in this area. And, put a gang enhancement on there, whatever they call it, gang injunction.
Gang injunction.
Yeah, so I'm trying to prove right now that I'm not that type of person that they're trying to label me as. I'm my own individual. I'm doing stuff on my own to make them know that I ain't a part of that. So what I've been doing is been helping out around my community with the food bank, Pastor Harris. I've been on my own getting my jobs on. Been going to interviews so I can get a job. I currently got a job right now at a valet for the Marriott. So I'm trying to just do my thing right now. Next semester I'm gonna be trying to get into school.
Yeah.
So it's all my work. It ain't nothing about this gang. I ain't really nothing about that.
You see, that's the thing. Whereas you live in a community, and being the surroundings that you have, sometimes you might walk outside and you get in trouble just because of your surroundings.
And that's what this sounds like.
And that you're being labeled, you're already labeled, first of all, as a black man anyway. Like I said before, this is truth, everything is fact. So, everything that I say on this tape and everybody say is factual. We ain't playing no games, we ain't selling no tapes, we ain't selling no lies. This ain't sex, lies, and videotapes. This is real stories, real lives. You got a brother right here, like you said, he started at the food bank, went out on his own, filled out applications, turned in his resume, got a job on his own. Got a lot of programs out here, and that's good too, but it's up to every individual to take on the responsibility, and that's one thing this brother's doing, taking on responsibility. He know he on the gang injunction. He know the gang injunction he shouldn't be on, but he took responsibility, he said, for selling the dope and getting in trouble. The gang injunction is another story though.
Sure is.
That's like you said before, it was gang enhancement. You can get years for gang activity. So that's what it is. Gang injunction is gang enhancement because you can get more years added to your sentence when you get caught and say you're a gang member. So it is gang enhancement. So I just want to tell you, SFPD, the city attorney's office, this is one that you ain't got to worry about. Keep your hands off, let him do his thing.
I got something I want to say too. I've been a lot of people know me in the community, and I've been videotaping for at least 6 years, going on 7 years. I've only got him and this young man here on one time, and there was a traffic violation in front of Marcus Garvey. That's it. Y'all finished? Okay. Searching. They were searching.
Yeah, I couldn't even get that car back. I paid $300 for it. They wanted me to spend like $500 to get out of tow and stuff. Like all together with the police release, that was like $91 on top of that.
Right.
So, I mean, you bought a car and got stopped in this car that you bought. And at first they told you it was stolen. And then they said when you came with the paperwork, it wasn't stolen. You had robbed somebody the night before.
A whole nother issue.
Oh my.
Dropped one issue and picked up another issue at him. I was there.
Yeah, they didn't have they said I didn't fit the description of the person that got robbed.
Sure did.
My car was identified, something like that. So,
sure did.
That was like how that went. That was kind of messed up.
So the first time though that you didn't fit the description as a black man, the car fit the description. It's the first time of everything.
They like, we gotta get you one way or another, that's all. But you smarter than that.
Right.
The 49ers want to be here, fine.
Right there, you're good.
But if the 49ers want to go,
Scoot over a little
fine.
so you don't block them.
I like
Right there,
football.
yeah, right there, go.
But I love people.
What we're doing here right now is like we said, this whole
There's
thing
no
is
way that you
about
can
gang
compare a
injunctions.
football game with people.
Looking at, I don't know.
So what we want to say to the city?
Or you want to
Yes
call
or
a
no?
politician?
No on G.
Brother Muhammad. That's who
Let
he is
the
now.
49ers
It was
leave if they
Benzo.
want to leave.
Now it's Brother Muhammad.
Why?
Daniel Muhammad. These
You
were
play
the
16
founding members
football games a
of
year.
one of the gangs that they so
Who really benefits off football?
in the Western District.
Yeah, people
It's
say,
a gang
well,
of
you know, I'm a
justice
Niner
on-
fan.
We're looking at a
And I
founding
love
member in
my
action
team.
right now.
But
Standing up for
economically
his
speaking,
community on behalf
it doesn't make
of even
sense
Bayview Hunters Point.
to
Not even the
sacrifice
Western
the
District.
whole
But
city
standing up for the rights of Bayview Hunters Point.
over a
So that's what
football
you're looking
game.
at now.
Yes, or an F.
Gang member
No on
that
G.
started the so-called KOP
Don't allow them to
of the
trick
Western
you
District gang
and make
injustice.
you
Watch
think
my inaction.
that this city care about homeless people. People who was born and raised in this city, natives. People who came here during World War II and worked on the shipyard for literally nothing. And when the war was over, the job was over. If you look at the writings on the wall, San Francisco needs to atone. It needs to atone for its own sins. San Francisco is not a people-friendly city. It's a city that make you work yourself to death. It's a city, if you're working 40 hours, you damn near need to work 60 hours a week to survive. It's a city that's more interested again in dog hotels, gorilla habitat. What happened into the zoo? It's a city that cares nothing about the common man and woman. It's a city that is going to go to hell if the people doesn't rise up and say it like it is. So now we have an election season. Some of us don't like the fact that there's a black man running for president. Some of us don't like the fact that Barack Obama is leading Hillary Clinton in all counts. Why? Again, who in their right mind would allow San Francisco to tell them, hey, look, I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna keep the promise. Care not cash. The city is great. We got tourism. We still got money. Don't worry about the economy. I know we're trillions of dollars in debt. We okay. But this is a city that has lost its mind. This is a city that would rather work its people to death. This is a city that has bought leaders. This is a city that has bought politicians. This is a city that has bought religious leaders. You had a restaurant called Powers down the street. He was set up to fail. He was given a loan with so many conditions. One of the conditions is don't make it. And before you know it, Powers Restaurant disappeared. Now those at redevelopment would say, hey, we gave him a fair shot. We gave him a loan. We gave him a tenant improvement loan. We did to him that we would do with Yoshi's. Look, we're developing the area. But under the Western Addition area, they never were supposed to bring in corporations without first talking to the people. Panda Express, Subways, and even Starbucks. We wanted to see moms and pop stores. We wanted to see community here that had people who was natives. We wanted to know, why did 630 black businesses in 30 years disappear? But the city told us, be patient. We'll give you a certificate. You can come back. You can open up your business. Hey, we're the redevelopment. We want to redevelop. But who are you redeveloping for? And doing all of this, as we went by and by, all of a sudden, there was a dope problem in the community. All of a sudden, there was a health problem in the community. So we want to ask the question, we want to raise the hypocrisy of San Francisco. This city is going mad. We're now sitting around talking about what we need to do as a city for San Francisco to make it great for San Franciscans. Well, the first thing we need to do is make everything affordable. How in the world can our leaders, so-called leaders, tell us that this city is a sanctuary city? And they don't mind keeping people here to wipe toilets and, you know, make pick up beds and you work at the hotel for $9 an hour. And you know, you just do that while we go to the San Francisco Hotel and, you know, have our wine and cheese party and live deliciously. But for the average San Franciscan, they're struggling. So San Francisco must atone for its sins. San Francisco must come clean. And we can't listen to the handkerchief-head religious so-called leaders. Now, I would name them, but I want to keep this respectful. And I think they still have opportunity to atone for their sins. And we haven't got to that point yet. We don't want to throw mud at each other, but we want to tell the truth. So yes on F, no on G. G is for the greed of the city. Lenore Corporation is not going to build anything out there in Bayview Hunters Point. Lenore Corporation is promising to develop Mare Islands, and the city of Vallejo is bankrupt. Do a Google search on Lenore. This is a company that has went through the United States and have eaten all of its land, which what we call land banking, land grabbing, land stealing. Lenore is a wrong company. But the city want to give Bayview Hunters Point to Lenore for $1. Now, have to raise the question, why? Is a football stadium more important than the people? Is a football stadium to keep a team who don't want to be here more important than the people? Like I said before, the Mayor Newsom can always promise care, not cash. But we're not getting no care and no cash. If you go to San Francisco General Hospital, and I'm talking about an emergency, you might even be shot and they tell you to get in line. Because the city of San Francisco is concerned by the bottom line. The bottom line has never been about people. The bottom line is about profit. And this is why I'm standing right here before you. Because many of people can't say this. Many of people can't express this. Because they feel that they're in prison. They're in prison and enslaved to their job. They're in prison enslaved to big businesses. So they can't tell you the truth. That's unfortunate. Because we're living in a time where the truth must be told. So, this Tuesday, let's become wise voters. Let's become them type of voters that resisted the Vietnam War. Let's become them type of voters who resisted the invasion of Iraq, of Afghanistan. Because we know at the end of the day, it has not added up to anything but more death for young American soldiers who give their life for a country that has the nerve to say, we love our soldiers, but we might be there 100 years. For a country that tells us, hey, we're at war. Hang your patriot flag out the window. Shut up and get in line and expect the government to do it all for you. Excuse me? I thought this government was of the people. If it's of the people, then the people has the last say-so. Have you ever wondered why we can't recall from the people perspective the President of the United States? That's very interesting. We're waiting for Democrats who act like Republicans to deal with the president. But why isn't it a law that the average citizen of Americans can recall the president? It is because they understand at the end of the day, if the president loses the election, all he got to do is steal the election. And that's called the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, which is appointed, again, by the president, the majority of them all the time is going to vote in favor, in support of their commander-in-chief. So again, we have an important election coming up this Tuesday, and San Franciscans must be aware to vote yes on F. By you saving Bayview Hunters Point, you also is sending a message to all of San Francisco. We're not going to stand around and watch big corporations come in and take this city to hell. Now, many of you already know what happened to Western Addition Fillmore. They promised many things to African Americans here in the Western Addition, but they slipped and slide and tricked and used language of the law and used housing codes and planning codes and all them codes and codes to remove the people. Now, they're telling us, trust us. We're the redevelopment. We want to redevelop Bayview Hunters Point. Not just for rich people. We want all people. But you must first sign off. You must repeal Proposition D of 1996. You must give us more power so we can take over Bayview Hunters Point and redevelop Bayview Hunters Point with jobs, parks, open space, more dog hotels, and forget about the people. Let's be real. They don't promise to keep the promise. In 1995, on my way back from the Million Man March in Washington, D.C., you seen a great change in San Francisco. What did you see? You seen homicides that was going down and started to increase. You seen guns pushed in the community almost overnight at a rapid pace. Although we have one gun shop within the borders of San Francisco, we got more guns in this city probably than Iraq. So there's a problem. Unless these guns are just falling out the sky, somebody is bringing in guns. Now, I can go to a 12-year-old in the projects, in low-income housing, and they can tell you where all the guns at. But you mean to tell me the ATF, FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, they don't know where the guns at? That's a question. You can tell me that we can put roaches on the moon. We can see Mars, but we can't fix the education system. Again, the political will of the United States of America is in jeopardy. And it's because of the greed of corporations that has brought us to this great decision that must be made on behalf of the people. So when you look at propositions that's coming, whether it's Proposition 98 or Proposition 99 from the state level, whether it's the debate over gay marriage, whether it's a debate here in this city and here throughout this land of where's the dollar, why is the dollar falling, and why have America been so quiet and so relaxed in a critical time in our history? It is because of the greed of corporations. So I mind you again, let's be educated voters and let's vote yes on F, no on G. Don't let them tell you that this corporation is going to save San Francisco. The Lennar Corporation has made many promises that it has not kept to this day. The Lennar Corporation was responsible for partial aid out in Bayview Hunters Point. They promised to create a legacy fund for the African Americans in Bayview Hunters Point. They haven't produced it yet. They promised out of the 1,600 houses to be built on partial aid that they would be affordable. 35% would be affordable. They reneged. Lennar Corporation can make promises, but they can't keep them. Not only only do we have a housing crisis, we have corporations that have sold themselves to other corporations, to more interest groups. So you and I mean nothing when it comes to the bottom line. And the bottom line is profit for the corporations. So we have to be educated, and we have to be willing. If you think you're an American and you say I'm patriotic, then what you waiting for? Get your bullhorn. Come out here and tell the people what needs to be told. Don't wait for a supervisor. Don't wait for a mayor. Don't wait for no representative of Congress. Don't wait for the Senate. Don't wait for anyone who works for special interest groups. This country has the nerve to ignore Ralph Nader and Matt Gonzalez. This country has the nerve to say it's only really about two parties, the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. You have many parties. When Ross Perot ran for president, wasn't it a sign to all Americans that if you stand as an independent representative, if you stand with another party, there would be many forces to stop you. But you have to forge that because that is necessary to get the third voice heard in our city and in our nation. We cannot rely on Democrats and Republicans alone.
You don't hear him?
Each one of us has the responsibility to hold them accountable.
Proposition 8.
So if you stay in a district and your supervisor is not doing what you believe your district is heading in the right direction, then you are obligated to sound the alarm. And here, on the eve of our June 3rd election.
Hey, hold on for a minute, all right?
You have corporations, you have spin doctors, you have the media, all have lined themselves up to support
on the corner
deception,
video by Subway.
to tell us that they got the communities back. But it's the same fear tactics that they used before they invaded Iraq. It's to make you think
I got the camera
that Pearl Harbor is about to happen all over again. But we got to be wise about history. If you notice, the greatest thing to keep people on a hush is fear. So the corporate government understands as long as Americans are scared to death, they end up dead.
In the truck?
Dead to what? Dead to their own reality. They end up fearful of saying anything.
All right.
And then the good old boys in the Knob Hill bunch and those who's in high places, Pacific Height Mafia, downtown gangbangers, and all those who live on the outskirts who rape the money, who take the money of the poor, can live deliciously.
Hey, call me back.
While you and I, the average person, would be out here struggling, standing in food lines and waiting for city assistance. Our CEOs make money to make sure that their corporation do nothing. So what do we gotta do, people? We gotta stand up. We gotta shout it. We gotta make it an issue. We gotta make our agenda the top of the agenda. We need a people's party. We need a whole new people's party. Not Democrats, not Republicans. We need the people party. We need a party that is free and not a party that's gonna take money from corporations.